Mark Skaar on the Skaar Kaard on 103.7 The Fox. Proud to welcome back Jeff Scott Soto. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. How are you, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm beyond exuberant. I mean, what a year, huh?
Exactly. The last time you were here was Sons of Apollo, and now you're back with a new solo record, Wide Awake in My Dreamland. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
This is album number 7, solo-wise for you, and we played a couple tracks from it, which we'll get into, but tell me about how this one was put together.
Well, first of all, I'll say I'm humbled by the fact that I still get to do this for a living. You know, it's the fact that after 35-plus years in this industry, there's still something left in the chamber, and there's still interest for people to listen to, so I really appreciate that. This particular one, when I was sitting down with Frontiers after the Frontiers Rock Festival last year, basically making a game plan for this album, they suggested that I work with Alessandro because, for one, Alessandro's become quite an important factor with Frontiers Records. But number two, they thought we could possibly come up with something that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own if I'm producing and kind of running the show, so to speak, in making my records. I thought it was a welcome change because, number one, I've known Alessandro for 15 years, and I've just watched his growth as a producer, songwriter, artist. I mean, you name it, the guy's a jack of all trades. But we've been saying it for years, like, we can't wait to do something together, and this was finally it. And so I gave him the full ball as far as writing and composing the music, because my forte is really lyrics and melodies. Mm-hmm. I don't really like writing the music end anymore because my skills as a guitar player or keyboard player are kind of limited, and I like people who are really talented on their instruments and also as songwriters to be the contributors of the compositions themselves. So it worked out perfectly. He really tapped into a lot of the things of my past, a lot of things he loves about my past, and he even tapped into one of my biggest influences, which is Queen, and on the song that we released the other day on video, which is a song called Without You.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I want to get into that in a little bit, but the first thing we heard off this record was Love's Blind.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one, how that one came together.
Well, lyrically, that's I wrote that kind of as a personal letter to my teenage stepdaughter. Anybody who has a teenage kid, whether it's boy or girl, you know, everybody, including us growing up, we have our growing pains. There's certain things you go through, whether it's school, now it's social media, you have bullying, you have not feeling beautiful under your own skin, all these different things that a teenager goes through, and this was no exception. So this was kind of like a personal letter. This song, the lyrics were something to her that, listen, I know what you're going through. I've been through it. You don't have to rule your parents out of this situation because we don't understand. We absolutely understand. And that was kind of like my personal letter to her and reminding her this. And even the reference, most people see the title and they judge what it might be about. Love's blind. It could be about love is blind, you know, as far as a relationship, but this is more an internal love. This is loving yourself and finding that inner love before you can love something or someone else. So I always write in double entendre, and I implore the listener to actually try to find or kind of figure out what I'm writing about more so than just saying, well, this song has the word love in it, so clearly that's what it's about.
And the aforementioned Without You, which, as you mentioned, just came out recently and is doing very well for you. Yes,
it's out of the gate. It's one of these things, and it's exactly what I said about Alessandro. He knows my affinity for the band Queen, and he wanted to write something that sounded like maybe we would have done together, maybe just had that kind of that Brian May influence in terms of the musicality and just the production and everything. So he went for it in that factor, and I said, this has to be a video. This song is too epic for people just to listen to on the record.
And in addition, if people buy the CD, Jeff, they get a live album as a companion.
Yeah. The story behind that is that I was just talking about sitting down with Frontiers. We're talking about this new album and planning it out. It was at their annual Frontiers Rock Festival. They basically recorded it. I don't think we filmed it. If they filmed it, I haven't seen footage. But they recorded it with the intent of releasing it. and then when I saw, well, first of all, I only have a 50-minute time slot. With cutting all the fat, we had a technical issue that burned a few of the minutes during our actually set list. The whole thing was 42 minutes long, and I couldn't justify releasing something that fans are going to spend full price on for a live show that's only 42 minutes long. So I asked them, please don't release this as a standalone product, because I don't want the backlash. I don't want both to get the backlash of money grabbing. But the main thing is that I just feel like I'm cheating them if they're not doing a full headline DSS show. So their compromise was, let's put it out as a streaming, digital thing, streaming only in the beginning, and then for those who absolutely, positively refuse to go to streaming and digital formats and still prefer the physical, let's give them a bonus of putting the album on there for no additional charge.
I'm a physical guy, so I have to have it.
I get it, man. You know what? We grew up in an era where the liner notes and the photos and all the imagery that comes with an album, even the smell of it when you first open it, all those things are still so important to us. So yeah, we're traditionalists.
That we are. We're Jeff Scott Soto. I want to jump to some other things. Just recently announced a new Wet record coming in January.
Yes, sir.
It's called Retransmission. What can you tell us about that?
Well, once again, reteamed with my Swedish comrades, and we've come up with another melodic rock bliss. I mean, pretty much Wet is this. We know exactly what the fans who've been following this since 10 years ago when we released the very first one are expecting. So this is no different in those terms, and we try to grow as songwriters and even expand the sound a little bit without compromising the expectations.
11 tracks are going to be on the record.
Yes, sir.
And I would imagine we'll probably hear something before it comes out.
Absolutely. I don't have those details yet, but I'm sure they will be revealed soon.
Very good. We're with Jeff Scott Soto.
Talking about that in the next couple of months.
Okay. Very good. We'll have you back.
Awesome. I look for. That's the only reason I release records, so it gives us an opportunity to catch up and chat.
At least a couple times a year.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jeff, I also wanted to talk to you about this project that you have a hand in called Spectra. What can you tell us about that?
Well, on the same, basically off the cuff of the new JSS album, finally, BJ, who is the singer he's the keyboard player and second guitar player in the band Soto. He is an amazing singer, a ridiculously great singer. And that's one of the reasons why he's been with me in both the JSS and the Soto incarnations, because I rely so heavily on his voice to help me recreate and kind of replicate all the recordings that we do, because they're so vocally oriented. And without a really great singer, it's almost impossible just to use backing vocals to bring this stuff forward. That being said, BJ is a brilliant singer, and I've been looking for years for a vehicle to get his voice heard throughout the world. And finally, that outlet is Spectra. It's his new project, new band, but Alessandro and I co-wrote every song, co-produced every song for him. And even Edu, my drummer, for many years, is also involved in this. So it's an exciting new thing that I have a vehicle to push BJ out there to the rest of the world.
That's very cool. The other day I was thinking, wonder what's going on with TSO. And a little while ago, as we're speaking today, you told the world what's going on with TSO. Now you can tell our listeners.
It was one of the hardest secrets to keep. I'm telling you, it's especially when people are writing on my walls and my social media saying, why can't TSO do some kind of live stream thing? I'm like, but trust me, the fact that they did try every possibility, every avenue of trying to bring the tour forward, even if it was a shorter tour or whatever, it just didn't work out. So even this was something that they felt might compromise the experience of TSO. But they're going to do their damnedest in making sure that, not only there's not a year without TSO, but that it's going to come across as something really, really cool.
And so throughout this quarantine, Jeff, we can tell the fruits of your labor are being borne out, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Absolutely. I haven't stopped since I returned home early March. I have not stopped. I've got enough for five albums worth of material, maybe even more, because I'm just doing so many sessions with so many others. I'm doing my personal obligations, recording wise. All these quarantine videos I did. I mean, it's crazy. I've been as busy, if not busier, than when I normally have a regular touring year.
Didn't I read that you're doing something with Joel Hoekstra too?
I sang backgrounds on his new album, yeah. The first album I got to sing lead on half the album, but this time around it's going to be Russell Allen singing the entire record. For continuity reasons, it made more sense to have only one singer, but Joel so kindly asked me if I would provide the backing vocals for it, as I was supposed to do only for the first album, and it created a sound and a vibe that when Russell's singing, for me to actually cover the backing vocals as opposed to Russell doing them all.
Wide Awake in My Dreamland is the new solo record from Jeff Scott Soto. Jeff, is there going to be vinyl with this, perhaps?
Yes, there is. In fact, I'm waiting for the official link and everything, but it's underway right now. We haven't made the news official, but it is official. There will be vinyl on this, so I'm excited that this album won't be left out of that equation. I'm really excited to have that format. Again, we're traditionalists. We're old school. We want all the different formats that we love listening to music in.
Yeah, I don't imagine it'll be an 8-track or a cassette, though, probably.
Probably there will be one, but I'll be the only one that has it.
Oh, great. Jeff, thank you so much, as always, for your time. We always appreciate it.
I appreciate that, Mark. You be safe and continued success, and I can't wait to talk to you again. I'll release 15 more albums so we can just yap all year.
I'm all for it. Jeff, thank you. Jeff Scott Soto is our guest on the Skaar Kaard on 103.7 The Fox.